right, well, thank you for joining us for the application tips and tricks. I'm Julie from the Early Careers team, and I want to chat with you about the process, and then we also have Lawrence here today.
Nice to meet you. My name is Lawrence Golso. I'm a partner here at PwC, and so I'm going to talk a little bit from an interviewing perspective, just some of the things that I see and some of the tips and tricks that I've picked up along the time of interviewing lots of people like yourselves.
Great, so who has already submitted an application? Oh, we have a couple people. Great. Well, I'll be going through the whole process so you guys can still get some tips and tricks along the way. So we have our online application process. We've set it up a little bit differently where you guys can read the individual job descriptions of the various teams that we have. So once you guys have read them and have selected where you want to go, please only submit one application. We love the eagerness, but I'm sure you guys are busy, so only do the one. And then within that application, you're able to select a second preference. So that way, if there is other areas that we think you will be good for, we already know where your preferences lie. So after you're deemed eligible, you will receive an invite for our online assessment center. You will get 48 hours to do the online assessment center. And once you complete that, then you will go to the digital interview, which again, you will get another 48 hours. With these two pieces, definitely please let everyone in your household know that you are doing it. Set some time aside so you don't get interrupted. With the online assessment, it's a great tool. You will also get a report back, which I know candidates really enjoy, so they can also learn from the online assessment center that they've done. And then with the digital interview, you'll get 3 times to do it. And I would just say, make sure to be your authentic selves. We get that you can be nervous and, we understand that, but push through and kind of be resilient. You want to prepare, but don't go as far as scripting it. We can definitely tell when people are reading like this, and we want to know who you guys are. So after you're done that, you can sit back and relax. So a couple of you are already done at that part. And then this is when we will be reviewing all of the applications form and assessing who will be coming to the assessment center. So they are going to be in person in all of our lovely offices. So one of them will be here based in Sydney. All of those dates are on the website, so you guys can make sure that you coordinate and try not to book any work or uni on that. And then when you come to the assessment center, we will have a case study in the morning, so that'll be groups of 6 to 8 people looking to solve a problem. And then in the afternoon, you will have an interview. So that'll be with 2 business people. So it'll either be a partner or a director, as well as potentially an associate, so a recent graduate themselves, or a senior associate. And then after that, we are going to tell you as quickly as possible if you've been successful. Over to you.
Thank you. So a couple of things for me on the interviewing part. Probably break it down into 3 areas. One, which is personal brand. Personal brand means know who you are, know what your story is. When we ask you, tell us a little bit about yourself, we don't want to make it look like this is the first time you've ever been asked that question and it's throwing you. Know what it is that you want to tell us, but also make sure it matches what you've already told us on your CV or your resume. So have a think about the story that you want to tell. Don't make it go on too long, so know how you want to land it. My advice is have a practice, record yourself. You've all got iPhones or phones. Record yourself, watch it back, and you'll know quite quickly which bits land. But we don't want you to be scripted and just go, this is my answer. But we do want you to be able to tell us a little bit about yourself. So that's the first one. Second is be prepared. So know who the organization is that you're talking to. They're not all the same. They might all look the same, but they're not all the same. And know a little bit about the organization. That's why we're doing today, so that you can have conversations with us afterwards. You've got all the 4 businesses represented. Go and have conversations with people from that business so that when you go through the interview process, you can use snippets from what you've learned to build on the curiosity to ask further questions. So they're not just the first time questions that you're saying, tell me more about. They're actually showing that you've put some thought in and you've understood the area that you're going into or the firm that you're applying for and can get to the next level of detail. So be prepared. And the last is have fun, enjoy it. That means be yourself authentically, whatever character that is. But know that there's a difference between a digital interview and a face-to-face interview. You can't prepare and be the same person in both of those settings. A digital interview, because you've only got a limited amount of time and you're on screen, comes across very differently than a face-to-face interview that you've got time to build rapport, to understand what's happening in the room. And you're going to hear a tip a little bit later on from the wonderful Gemma. Breathing is your friend. Breathe. Breathing is your point of reflection. It's a point to reset. It's a point for yourself to center. It's also a point for your brain to disengage from your mouth of the immediacy of a response and to just think, what is it that I want to say? So there's just a few little tips and tricks, but really what we want to do is answer any questions that you've got. So we have got just under 8 minutes for some rapid fire questions, and we'll answer as much as we can.
Actually, I have two questions. So the first question being, I was just wondering, what are the timeline is like for the applications process in terms of assessment centers, and when would the offers normally be made? And the second part is, in regard to the assessment center, would all candidates be given the same case study, or would you be working with people who apply for the service line, or would you be working from people from different service lines?
Great question.
Yeah. So with the online application, the deadline is March 17th. Please don't wait until the end. If you guys have any technical difficulties, obviously we can help you along the way, but it's a lot easier if that's during. So hopefully after this, you guys are so invigorated and go home and apply. As for the assessment centers, you'll hear around beginning of April, and then they will kick off around the end of April. And when I say kick off, we are doing basically a national road tour. So it starts in Adelaide, and we're actually finishing in Sydney. So Sydney is closer to May 16th, I believe, but we do have all of those on our website. And then you asked another question about the case study. Yes, so everyone is doing the same case study on the day. And so you will be paired with people that are applying to your same team. But don't let that freak you out. The assessor is also from that same team, and it's just because they want to be able to see those skill sets for that team. And as Lawrence said, that right fit. You're welcome.
Sorry, maybe just speak into this. It's just a mic.
Oh, yeah.
Session. Thank you.
So, so is there any differences, like in terms of application process between the vocational program and the graduate program?
No, the application process is the same for both vacationers and graduates. Obviously, while we're assessing it and while the interviews are happening, we do understand that is a very different cohort, vacationers and graduates. So obviously that's taken into consideration, and it's not that we're gonna put a graduate standard for a vacationer.
Other questions? What else have you got? Any part of this?
Well, I was going to add to what you had said about asking the questions and making sure that you guys are really curious, is also making sure that the question you're asking is not on our website. And so the answer is not already there, because that'll just show that you might have missed something in terms of research. So making sure that you have properly looked for your answer, and it is something that's kind of above and beyond what we do already have out there.
So the question came in one of the last groups. How do you, as an interviewer, what do you look for? And if you've got people in front of you, how do you, what are the elements that make somebody stand out? And the answer to that is it's difficult. Part of that is it's through the conversation, but what we're really looking for is curiosity. We don't expect you to already have the technical competence in the role that we're bringing you into as a grad. We know that you're an expert in the topic and the subjects that you've just spent 3 or 4 years at university on. But we're going to train you into the areas that we're going to bring you into PwC and actually set you up for your future careers. The thing that this firm is more than anything is we make future leaders to go into industry. It's a skills factory. It's fantastic. You'll never get better learning than the people that you see and get to work with around here. So we don't expect you to already be versed and skilled fully in the role for the particular organization that you're coming into. So what we're looking for is that curiosity. Curiosity of learning, curiosity of this is an interesting person that adds to the mix of what we've got. This is somebody that we want to work alongside and learn from as much as be able to teach into the work that we're bringing in. So being open-minded within that and knowing what we're looking for, I think also helps you to prepare some of those questions. Somebody also asked in the last group, if we get asked, do you have any questions, and the answer comes back no, is that a good or a bad thing? Look, generally I would say have a question. I'm not saying it's a bad thing and it gives you an X. It doesn't. But if we're looking for those that are curious and there isn't a single question that comes back in an interview process, there's got to be something. Know what those questions are, because it at least allows you to go somewhere, and it doesn't have to be directly related to the work aspect. It could be related to the cultural aspect. It could be related to the organization. It could be around the individual's own journey and how it relates back. Whatever it is, make sure you're prepared for that. You like your 2 questions.
Two questions. I think first thing is just before the interview, would you be informed who your interviewer? names, and like would you find them during the day? And the second one is from your experience of interviewing candidates, what are some of the most common mistakes that you see in people making consistently?
Do you want to take the first?
Yeah, so for the first one, you'll know which team, obviously, you're going to be interviewing. You won't receive the names of the specific interviewers, but just know that it'll most likely be a partner director, it will be one of the people, and then the other people will be either associate or a senior associate, so a recent graduate.
So, what are some of the things that don't land necessarily?
Yeah, some of the mistakes that you see people making consistently.
So don't have to. I wouldn't call them level of mistakes, but some things that are sometimes off-putting. If somebody comes in like a whirlwind, completely at you, and you can be a little bit. So temper your energy and know what the energy is. And as I said, there's a different energy for a digital interview that comes across differently. You can prepare very easily for that because you can record yourself and know how that comes across whilst being you. Don't try and be something that you're not. So that's the other one, when somebody comes in and you can tell that they're really versed on certain responses and they give you an impression of who they are, and then you go on a different journey and all of a sudden it's a completely different person. You sit there going, hang on, was that the prepared person and this is the authentic person, or the other way around? My final one is know the right length of response to a question. I've had in a 10-minute interview somebody taking 8 or 9 minutes on the introduction, which doesn't allow for very much fact-finding of the things that we're looking for. So know the amount of time that you've got. If you've got a 1-hour interview, you can go on some stories. You can sort of add some color and go beyond the platitudes. What we don't want is yes, no, or one-line answers. But at the same time, if you've got a 15-minute interview slot, taking 10 minutes on the intro doesn't allow you to necessarily land the rest of the info. Got 1 minute.
Thank you. It seems that PwC is really team-oriented. In the interview process, is there any interaction between the candidate and the team they would be going into, or do you sort of just gauge how that person would fit into the team through the process you described at the assessment center?
Yeah, so the team aspect is more going to be coming out of the case study in the morning. So you won't be able to interact with your potential team, but obviously, regardless, your colleagues and your potential other graduates that may be joining you. There may be the opportunities, I guess, to showcase your teamwork when you are in the interview, depending on how you answer the questions. So keep that in mind as well.
Last 30 seconds. Is there a final burning question? If not, we will wrap it up there. We are around the rest of the day and afterwards for any other questions. You are in prime spot to stay where you are because you're going to be back in here anyway. So you've got 20 seconds. Take some downtime. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.